Good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day Live for the Littlewoods Cup semi-final second leg between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal. The prize, a place at Wembley in the final against Liverpool. Spurs lead 1-0 from the first leg, but Arsenal were able to include the experienced Viv Anderson and the talented young David Rocastle, whose absence from Arsenal's right flank in that first leg gave Spurs a positive advantage. The pressure of being front-runners in the Today League and still in both cup competitions seems to be pinching Arsenal a touch recently, whereas Spurs, similarly involved, seem to be moving smoothly into top gear. Well, their latest overseas star, Nico Clausen, is beginning to give the prolific Clive Allen a hand with the goal-scoring. And England's splendid Spanish win will have done no harm at all to the confidence of Chris Waddle, nor to Glenn Hoddle, a player whose control and passing ability can touch breathtaking heights. Well, I shall take a breath now and ask Trevor Brooking, what kind of low score draw is it going to be today?
Well, I'll be very surprised if it's a sort of no goals at all, Jim. I think it could be a scoring draw, which will mean naturally that Spurs will get through because they've got that 1-0 advantage. But there's been a lot of rain in North London this morning, which I think will help attacking players because you can wrong-foot defenders. And of course, it's the sort of day where you can get mistakes. And I think both goalkeepers might have a part to play because of the greasy surface.
What about the key tactical points? Don Howe was saying yesterday on Focus that Arsenal can't attack from the halfway line because they've got nobody of real pace to break through. Do you think Spurs will be aware and seal them up on that basis?
Well, Spurs definitely play an offside game, and it's useful if you've got somebody of pace. I think Charlie Nicholas and Noel Quinn, the two front lads, will have to make sure they come out with the Spurs back four, and then it'll be up to somebody from midfield to break. It's interesting that Arsenal selected a young lad, Michael Thomas, who's a fullback, in fact, to play the right side of midfield. David Rocastle will sort of come in more central in place of Steve Williams. And I think perhaps you'll see a rotating situation where Viv Anderson, who's back in the side, and he's very good in getting into attacking situations, will push forward.
I must ask you a quick prediction.
I've got to go for Spurs, which will probably please Arsenal supporters, but I think 1-0 advantage will be enough.
And I'm going for Spurs too, so that's really dangerous. But the atmosphere is building at the stadium. The players are out on the pitch now, so it's time to join our match commentator, Barry Davis.
Well, first news of the going. In spite of a great deal of work done on it this morning, the pitch is very wet, and the conditions are rather similar to the league meeting here in January, which perhaps adds a little bit of feeling to David Fleet's comment in the programme. Enjoy the game if you can. It's going to be a tense old 90 minutes. In case you need reminding, Arsenal won that match. But this is the Spurs lineup, which carries a one-goal advantage from the first leg, the goal scored by Clive Allen. And with the exception of Steve Hodge, who is cup-tied, he's already played in the competition for Aston Villa, it is Tottenham's first-choice lineup. As for Arsenal, apart from welcoming back Viv Anderson and David Rocastle from suspension, they give a platform to the much-publicised Charlie Nicholas to prove that an individual can integrate and provide the innate skill which can be decisive. It's a side, of course, which lacks Steve Williams, and George Graham, the manager, sent a special note to me that I should point out it's a side that has 2 19-year-olds and 3 20-year-olds. There is a marked contrast between these two clubs this season in that David Fleet has spent 2.2 million on new players, Mitchell Thomas, Richard Goff, Nico Clausen and Steve Hodge, whereas George Graham has spent only 50,000 for the now injured Perry Groves, who might well have played in this match but for being injured in the midweek game against Oxford. Well, there's Charlie Nicholas. Depending on which newspaper you read, he's either going or staying. What is for sure is that his contract is up at the end of the season. Clive Allen, very much the man of the moment, 37 goals in 36 matches, and he needs a total for the season of 45 to beat Jimmy Greaves. There have been a few debates about how many Jimmy scored, but we've checked the records and it's 44 in that season, so Clive Allen will need 45. Good size all-ticket crowd, and here's the third team on the park. The referee in the centre, Alan Gunn of Burgess Hill, and the two linesmen, Dennis Palmer of Radstock and John Kite of Wolverhampton. Well, it's Arsenal who brought the first young lad up to enjoy the moment. The two official skippers, Kenny Sanson on the left and Richard Gough, Tottenham. Careful examination of the coin. And it looks as though Richard Gough won the toss and decided for choice of ends. Have gone by since the first leg, and I would think that in the crowd are one or two taxi drivers, because certainly it's been the major topic of conversation in every taxi journey in the capital that I've had since. Who goes to Wembley? So Arsenal get the match underway, and the team's playing the same way as they did in the league meeting here, which was the last time that Tottenham were beaten. Rocastle in the action immediately, and so was Michael Thomas. They're the two 19-year-olds, incidentally. And Tottenham have an injured player. It's Gary Mabbutt who's down. Problem would look to be the right knee. Well, I don't have to tell you about the atmosphere. You can surely see it and hear it for yourself. This is how Gary Mabbutt was injured. It seemed quite innocuous, but the worst injuries often are, but fortunately it is not a bad injury. Mabbutt recovered, and the experienced Ray Clements, now 38, getting his first touch of the ball. Tony Adams. Alan Gunn, unimpressed at the appeals. But I think the back pass, if it's going to be made, has got to be hit pretty true. It's still just a little surface water, and they've been doing a lot of work with the forks. Danny Thomas got away with a leap on the back. Paul Allen. And a pretty harum-scarum start. Richard Gough. Ardiles. What a delight it is to see Ardiles showing the form of old. Huddle. Good clearance by Adams. Spurs, who've tended to play much of this season with 5 players in midfield, have given Clive Allen more of a partner this afternoon in the choice of the Belgian Nico Klaassen, who's just down the touchline for Danny Thomas to find if he wants him. And he wants him to go away. Allen. Paul Allen. Chris Waddle. Mitchell Thomas on the overlap. And nicely done. No way. Just the corner. The Tottenham think they've got the free kick, and they have indeed got the free kick. Well, that surprised me, and it surprised the Arsenal players. Usual two possible angles, either Waddle, who usually leaves it, and Hoddle, who usually takes it. And the whistle's gone. Usual scene of British football, the massive players around the centre circle. First attempt by Martin Hayes, not quite working. Danny Thomas. Ardiles. Free kick given against Hayes. And the Arsenal players protesting. And it can surely gain them nothing. Paul Davis is the man on the end of a lecture. But there's an early suggestion in the first 5 minutes that Michael Thomas is going to try and crowd Glenn Hoddle at every opportunity. Goal kick. Exhaust fumes have dissipated. Tottenham in possession. It's David O'Leary. Now Quinn took it well on his shoulder when Tottenham were looking for the header. Played it early too to Hayes. Goal kick. People think that now Quinn is just a beanpole, 6'4", good in the air. But there's a little more to him than that. Ardiles. Allen down the middle, Waddle on the left, Klaassen on the right. Mistake by Tony Adams, which David O'Leary covers at the expense of the corner. Spurs just with Clive Allen in the 6-yard area, now joined by Waddle, who will take the near post position. Gary Mabbutt at the far angle just outside, and that was Richard Gough, but the ball rather came to him rather than he meeting ball. As he made contact, it always looked difficult for him to keep the ball down. Referee played a good advantage, and the free kick for the challenge by Gough. Hayes. Thomas rose, didn't make contact. Gough put it out of harm's way. Arsenal in the league match here scored one goal from the follow-up to a corner and one from a free kick. Noted for their set pieces. Rocastle has gone in front of Ray Clements, out by Ardiles. Klaassen. Thomas in past his green. Waddle push and run. Adams comes across. Well, Chris Waddle gets his corner, but it was quite interesting then that he clearly pushed Kenny Sansom, but actually helped Sansom to make up a couple of inches needed to get to the ball, but from the push came the corner. Once again, Allen alone except for the red shirts and the green jersey of John Lukic. Mabbott comes forward, Richard Goff comes forward, now Quinn won it twice. Offside. It's the sixth meeting between these two sides in the League Cup. They've had 2 wins apiece. 1 draw. It's the 6th match. Spurs ball. Well, the linesman says it's an Arsenal ball. And of course, even when an official is wrong, he's right. Davis. Thomas. Covered by Chris Waddle. Ten minutes gone. The Constables move off for either a break or a better view, I don't know which. Davis, Sansom. Arsenal trying to condense the play. Nicholas failing to get control when he needed to. It's just a little bit of a breeze. And it's a little unpredictable. Arsenal holding them very tight. Just inside the box, so that's a gift for John Lukic. Always the defender's ball. Allen, 2 came to him. Good attempt by Huddle, and it very nearly works because of the error in defence. Paul Allen was the player running through. It's interesting that Rocastle is playing still wide on the right, and Thomas is playing the central of midfield as Tottenham dig themselves out of just a little bit of trouble. Charlie Nicholas won it back well. Well, that would have pleased his manager. And he's done it again. Sansom. Temptation to go down the line was too great. Charlie Nicholas just feeling a slight knock there. Ardiles. Adams. Thomas. Not a good ball for the oncoming Anderson. Goff comes across. A good flick down, comes to Charlie Nicholas, blocked by Danny Thomas. But I think he's rather feeling that knee. And indeed, he's asking the referee that if he could have some attention, which the referee obviously agrees. Well, as Charlie Nicholas gets the attention, the first thoughts we can hear now from Trevor Brooking.
Well, I think at the moment the main factor is that the midfield looks pretty congested, doesn't it, Barry? And as you say, Michael Thomas, who is a fullback really, has been brought in to do a man-to-man marking job on Glenn Hoddle, and supposedly most of the space I think we'll find will be on the flanks.
Quinn. Ardini's got in front of him. Hayes. Mitchell. All a bit tight. Rocastle. Adams. Well, it was kicking through the mud. Offside. Quinn and Hayes on the left, Anderson forward, here's Quinn, Hoddle, Klassen. It's the second nutmeg of the afternoon through the legs, one through Anderson, one through Davis. And we've had a quarter of an hour, no score in the second leg, but Tottenham with the advantage from the first. Spurs with four players just outside the 18-yard area. Waddle makes it a fifth, wide to the left and moving in. And Tottenham taking an eternity. Lukic in trouble, Klassen miskicked, Allen did not. He's done it again. And you have to admire the way he made room for himself. Goalkeeper felt as though he was impeded by Gary Mabbutt. But the way Allen found the space to plant the ball into the corner was real class. So his second goal of this semi-final, giving Tottenham a 1-0 lead in the second leg and a 2-0 lead on aggregate. Nicholas, free kick has been given. And they look a bit quiet at that end. And there's an awful lot of chat with the referee, which is indicative of the tensions. But David Fleet will be breathing a little more easily now. He was certainly a bit wound up before the game, I thought. Even to the point of pinching my programme. Martin Hayes, got out by Goff. Hoddle was something beloved of the late Eddie Waring. Hayes, Davis, with a very neat turn and a good challenge. Hayes, Thomas, it's the corner. Arsenal's second. Quinn stays on the near post. Nicholas on the far. Rocastle between the two. Anderson poised to run from the penalty spot. So is Adams. And the free kick has been given. And again there are protests from Arsenal players. Sanson. Feelings of the Arsenal players on that free kick, given for a challenge on Clements. Surely owed something to the fact that Mabbutt was right in front of John Lukic as Lukic tried to get to the ball. As Mabbott took it well. Huddle, offside, Klassen. Well, the idea was brilliant, but Klassen moved just too soon. Quinn taking one or two wide positions. Mitchell Thomas in the middle. Not a particularly good clearance, well spread out by Davis. Viv Anderson, it was Waddle who came to him. Came off Goff, I think. And it's now a goal kick. Spurs fans are already celebrating the victory. Warming up for Wembley, one might say. Quinn. On by Nicholas. Quinn again. Danny Thomas covering. And covering well. Very good clearance too. Sanson. Thomas. Viv Anderson. Waddle. Offside. Quinn. Rocastle. And Clive Allen is onside. David O'Leary covering him. Nicholas. Still got a bit to do. And again, protests to officials. And I must say this does nothing for the image of football. Whatever the frustrations of the Arsenal players, they really must control their feelings and not object to every decision that is made. O'Leary. One by Quinn. Davis. No mean attempt. Anderson. It was a slightly unkind bounce, but he played it perfectly fairly. Thomas. Adelis. It's not entirely Tottenham style, but they're actually playing the through ball very early, or attempting to do so. The Arsenal defence is pushing up and getting the offside decisions in the way that Tottenham's defence is noted for doing. Adams. Anderson. Almost made the forward run, but Arsenal really not putting anything together. through the stick to Thomas. Paul Allen. 4-2 back for Arsenal. Carson. Quinn. Waddle withdrawn on the left side. The full-back ahead of him. That's the way the game's gone. Quinn. Good touch to Nicholas. That's a good try! What a beautifully hit shot. The flag stays down, but Lukic with no difficulty. O'Leary. That's nicely done. That's even better done until Mitchell was able to recover, Mitchell Thomas. Nicholas. Felt that a bit of a print was left by Quinn. Offside. And I think Quinn's nose is not dissimilar to the colour of his shirt. And the referee, meantime, having a conversation with Goff and Nicholas. And Nicholas still in trouble. And maybe the blood on Quinn had come off Nicholas. That really was a fine effort by the now injured party. Got hold of it well. O'Leary. Huddle. Waddle and Thomas was offside. Looking for the head of Quinn again. Beaten by Mabbott. Ardiles, challenged by Michael Thomas, was a little late. And this was billed as the most meaningful meeting between these two sides since the season that Arsenal won the double, May '71, when Roy Kennedy scored the only goal here, which wrapped up the league title. So far in this Littlewoods Cup, Tottenham in control. Davis. That's Mabbott. Adams. Huddle. Klassen. He's done well, and Lukic had to palm it away and was struggling in the mud. And he's struggling again on the deck. Klassen. Davis. Thomas. Free kick given against Mitchell Thomas. I wonder whether you would agree with me that when Nico Klassen runs with the ball, he bears a passing resemblance to the former West Bromwich Albion player Jeff Astle. A bit smaller. And we've had half an hour of this second leg, and Tottenham have added to their goal scored at Highbury. Also in the first half, and the same name on the score sheet, Clive Adams. On by Quinn, but nobody to feed off him. Waddle. His role has been mainly defensive. Thomas. Quinn. Arsenal throw. Abbott made it his. Chris Waddle again at left back. Goal kick. O'Leary missed it. It's been one of the keys of Arsenal's success this season, the combination of Adams and O'Leary, but that's the second time that one has had to rescue the other. And really the mistake was pretty elementary. O'Leary. Bit of room for Kenny Sansom. Klassen gets goal side. That's a useful ball to Hayes. Ball out on for Tottenham. His cousin is in the inside left position, but Paul hasn't got the ball anymore. Rocastle. That's good play. Davis a little unlucky. Oh, George Graham's expression doesn't show too much. O'Leary, and the first Arsenal encampment in the opposition half. But to tell the truth, they've yet to suggest that they're capable of wresting the initiative away from Tottenham. Ardiles. Game is very tight in midfield. We're not seeing any Tottenham flamboyance. Quinn, Sansom. Ball is trying to lift their team. Ellis Hansen will surely go for a long throw from here. Nicholas is the nearest to him, and he's just inside the area. Bit of pushing and shoving on Quinn by Mitchell Thomas. And the Arsenal skipper can try again. Davis, Anderson goes wide for him to the right. Allen was quickly to him, changed the angle. Nicholas.
Well, at the moment, certainly Arsenal having quite a bit of possession, but their final ball is letting them down. I think that's been a problem for a lot of the season. Their defence they've had to rely on, and now just when their forwards are being asked to open up the Spurs defence, that seems to be the problem. There's a little fracas there, and I think Arsenal have got to make sure that they don't lose their tempers. It was a disappointing goal because really when you're 1-0 down, you don't want to get a second one down, and to be fair, it was a very bad goal. I think John Lukic will put it down to himself. He tried to catch instead of punching, and it'd be important really psychologically if Arsenal could get a goal back before half-time. Otherwise, George Graham's going to have to do a lot of talking.
We're 10 minutes away from half-time. Hoddle. Looking for Klassen. And did he touch it? Well, the referee says no, he didn't. But either way, it was another embarrassment for John Lukic. He's not having a particularly happy afternoon so far. Waddle. And by Davis. Hayes. It's a little ponderous. Adams, free kick. Trip by Ardiles. Adams moves forward. The line is right on the 18-yard line. Quinn in the middle. Adams away to the right. Thomas won it. And the left back called Waddle clears again. Mitchell Thomas often coming across and leaving Waddle the flank as a defender. Goff. Waddle to Goff. His first foray forward. Finds Klassen. Allen in the middle. Corner. And David O'Leary turns to object to that decision. It's unbelievable. Hoddle will take it. So that's out of character for the Arsenal central defender. Goff coming in. Quinn who won it. O'Leary's clearance, but not one from which Arsenal can build. And here's Thomas, centre man at the back. I suppose I've used Mitchell Thomas quite well to help with the height advantage of that now Quinn has. Allen, would you believe, is offside? Thomas. Found by Waddle, the flag stays down, Tottenham have two in the middle, Allen! Only goes to prove that he does occasionally miss. But it was yawning. Thomas with the break. And Allen didn't make the contact. Tottenham, without question, should have had a second goal. Arsenal and Lukic live on. 3-0, they surely would have been stone dead. 3-0 on aggregate, that is. Sansom. Quinn. Nicholas. He's made the gap. Oh, and he's unlucky. Got a deflection, the shot, which made it spin, and it came back off the crossbar. But that's lifted both supporters and team. This is Rocastle. Had a chance for the shot then. Quinn. Nicholas. Davis. And poor Allen diving in. Dear, oh dear. Cursing his luck, and he's entitled to. He's had 2 fine cracks. One was too high. That one spun viciously at the moment of contact and deflection. And Ray Clements was saved by his crossbar. 5 minutes to go to half-time. And I would suggest their greatest feelings of hope so far, the Arsenal supporters behind Ray Clements' goal. And of course, one of the goals in the league match was from a very similar position to this. On that occasion, Paul Davis took it. That's the firecracker that's gone off and is dying quickly. Can Charlie Nicholas match it? Well, it proved to be a squib of the damp variety. It curled too much. Sansom. Davis. And Allen. Arsenal throw. He's turned his back on the ball. So the amount of time Tottenham have taken over their set pieces, in other games the throw would have been given the other way in the free kicks. Quinn. Allen. Davis. Everything to his right. Nicholas. And he turned away. 2 Tottenham players cleared the ball in front of him. Adams. Sansom. Only course open to Klassen. Clements didn't get it cleanly. Hayes couldn't dig it out. The ball was the boss then, in spite of the efforts of Viv Anderson. Well, it's interesting that Ray Clements came to punch and really only half got to it and knocked the ball down. Bearing in mind the manner of Clive Allen's goal. Huddle. Into the last 2 minutes of the first half. It's been greater pressure from Arsenal as the half-time whistle has approached. Michael Thomas. Anderson. As we move into the last minute of the first half. Hayes. Rocastle to his right. Good challenge by Ardiles. And look at the covering of the little man. It was for that he first drew the eye playing for Argentina in the '78 World Cup. Always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. There's Anderson. Disappointing cross. Thomas. Rocastle. Out by Mitchell Thomas. Clive Allen. And David are really looking for it. And the free kick has been given, it had to come. I'm not sure that it was against O'Leary, but certainly seemed not concerned that the man was between him and the ball. And we're now playing the time the referee's allowed for injuries and lectures. Waddle out on the left side. Cushioned on the instep. Klassen. Quinn. Bit of an elbow up then from Danny Thomas. Adams, Mabbott, well played. Well, not offside against Mabbott. It must have been either against Hoddle or Allen. And the applause was because Gary Mabbott brought the ball back. Quinn, Nicholas. Rocastle, the flag stays down, and the chance is wasted. And Rocastle very dejected about that fact. A real opportunity for Arsenal to get back on terms in this second leg, and it was thrown away. Alan Gunn looks at his watch. Half-time has arrived with Clive Allen's goal dividing the teams and on aggregate giving Tottenham a 2-0 aggregate. This was the opportunity that fell for Arsenal at the end of the half, and it was the knee of Clements which blocked. So Tottenham had the advantage. George Graham has a lot to say in the dressing room. But the first words we will hear at half-time come from Trevor Brooking.
Well, I think Arsenal players, as they troop off to the half-time chat, be a little bit disappointed because they put a lot of effort into that last 15 minutes, and really, what, a minute before the whistle was that golden opportunity. David Rocastle, I think, in two minds whether to shoot or square it back across the face of the goal, where perhaps one or two other players were in better positions. But now George Graham has got to try and lift them. They've given away a disappointing goal, and obviously now they won an early goal in the second half.
Well, news of the Fulham merger in a moment, but first of all, let's take a look again at the most exciting goal-mouth incidents in that first half.
Spurs with 4 players just outside the 18-yard area. Waddle makes it a 5th, wide to the left and moving in. And Tottenham taking an eternity. Lukic in trouble, Klassen miskicked, Allen did not. He's done it again, and you have to admire the way he made room for himself. The goalkeeper felt as though he was impeded by Gary Mabbott. Mitchell Thomas. Found by Waddle, the flag stays down. Tottenham have 2 in the middle. Allen! only goes to prove that he does occasionally miss. But it was yawning. Thomas with the break. And Allen didn't make the contact. Tottenham, without question, should have had a second goal. Sansom. Quinn. Nicholas. He's made the gap. Oh, and he's unlucky. Got a deflection, the shot, which made it spin, and it came back off the crossbar.
Well, we hear a lot these days about players not wanting to take on opponents and look for the space beyond them, but there was an incident early on there where Chris Waddle shows it pays dividends even when you don't look likely to get on the end of the ball. He's played it from his own half, put a lot of pressure on those two players. He's never going to be there first, but the fact that he's tried it panics Kenny Sansom, and at the end of the day, he gets a corner for his bravery in taking on opponents from his own half of the field. The goal, it's worth a look, really. John Lukic won't like the fact afterwards that he didn't punch that ball and make sure he got it clear. The one thing you mustn't do is let it drop down. Clausen misses it. Clive Allen, who else, just evades that tackle, and clinical, perfect finishing, low into the corner, giving the goalkeeper no chance. And just as there are times when you should run with the ball, there are times when you should resist that temptation. This is Mitchell Thomas now. He plays a lovely ball through. There you are, that's not a bad one. Mitchell Thomas, it's played by Chris Waddle. Now there, you see, he should lay the ball early, but he didn't. It was too late, and he gave Lukic the chance to make up for that early mistake. Sometimes the moment when to hold the ball and when to run with it. Trevor.
Well, that's right. I think Mitchell Thomas at the time, he knew he had a lot of space, but in fact it was Clive Allen and Glenn Hoddle who had a couple of yards on the retreat in Arsenal defence. If it had gone in there early, there wouldn't have been the sort of no hope if it had gone either side, as it did happen with Clive Allen. He was then sliding in, but he had plenty of space if it had got it in early.
You talked at half-time about George Graham's job. I mean, do you really think they have it within them to come back? I mean, are there rays of hope for Arsenal?
Well, I think the last 10 minutes were definite rays of hope, but I think if I was a player, I would have wanted to have got the goal, because you had Charlie Nicholas, the deflection that hit the crossbar, and then that chance with David Rocastle, and you tend to feel then that perhaps it's going to be one of those days where we're not going to get the breakthrough.
Oh, lovely. Well, we promised you news of Fulham, and the news at the moment of that emergency meeting of the League Management Committee today in London, the League, the FA and the PFA agreed to stand together in a bid to save Fulham. That's wonderful news. The League Secretary, Graham Kelly, said they were not prepared to acquiesce in the demise of a long-established member of the League. And the PFA Secretary, Gordon Taylor, summed it up. The crew of the good ship football have united to repel a pirate border, and I'm delighted. Well, let's join Bob Wilson now with Gordon Taylor.
Well, Gordon, we saw that quote from you, and naturally you are delighted by the outcome.
Yes, I am, Bob. It's been a very trying week, but I've been absolutely astounded at the great wealth of support for football, not just from probably the first time ever the PFA, the League and the FA are united together, but from supporters, politicians, local authorities, everybody who loves the game, because they see what could be a great danger that if we're not careful, we're going to let ourselves lie down and be trampled over by people whose interests aren't in it for the good of football.
But in short, Gordon, it means that there is hope for Fulham Football Club. You're in total agreement that you want it to continue.
Very much so. We're against the merger, the League are against the merger, and we want to encourage people to come forward, keep Fulham Football Club separate, the players, the administration. We need a ground, hopefully...
Not necessarily at Craven Cottage.
Well, hopefully in the short term, but perhaps another ground in the long term. But everybody wants Fulham Football Club to survive in its own, with its own identity.
Now, anyone else who wishes to get into football, I gather, there will be questions put about their motives on why they want to get in.
Yes, and the Football League have agreed to look seriously at this, at the legal aspects, and to hopefully make sure that they can adjust the regulations to prevent it happening in the future.
I think everyone in London is saying, well, it's just a problem peculiar to London, but I don't think it's just that, is it?
No, it isn't. If it happens in London today, Bob, because property values are so high here, relatively speaking, it will still be the thin end of the wedge, and it will happen in the rest of the country tomorrow.
There'll be hundreds of Fulham fans out there listening to this interview, and of course the Fulham players. What message do you give to them at this moment?
The battle's far from over, and now Mr. Bulstrode is starting to see what reaction he's created, and I can assure him that's a big reaction and will continue to be so.
But do you really feel that you can get through to Mr. Bulstrode at the end of the day and say...
We're against a lot of money. The company's worth £60 million, but he's also against a lot of people who've got the interests of the game at heart, and a lot of people know that football has got a place in the fabric of our society.
Gordon, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Bob.
And we all wish for a happy ending to that particular story. Whether it's going to be a happy ending for Arsenal this afternoon is still in some doubt.
Well, I just think at the moment George Graham is just about pausing for breath, Jim, because he's obviously got to try and organise things that they push extra men forward. The longer the half goes on, obviously they're going to have to put people like Viv Anderson, Tony Adams, who've got that aerial ability, push them forward into attacking situations. And then Spurs are so good at capitalising. I saw him in the previous round against West Ham when it was 1-0 for 70 minutes, and then they got 3 late goals, and then it looked a little bit of a whitewash. But in fact, they do attack very well, Clive Allen, and they've got pace with Clausen and Waddle. But although those two, in particular Chris Waddle, is possibly working harder on defensive situations at the moment rather than attacking.
The Spurs defence has looked as if there were holes in it here and there. I mean, it hasn't looked like a brick wall, exactly.
Yeah, so if I was an Arsenal supporter, you see glimmers of hope, don't you? I mean, there's 1 or 2 scrambles in the penalty area where they can't quite get that clear shot. Little knockdowns. Noel Quinn is always dangerous in the air. And I'm sure Spurs will try and want to push them up to the edge of their penalty area so they're not allowing headers in their own penalty area near Ray Clements. But at the moment, all is well from a Spurs supporter's point of view. But at the moment, as you say, you've only got, Ian Allison is the substitute, or one of the subs. He's an attacking player. And perhaps George Graham might bring him on, throw an extra attacker forward, and young Michael Thomas, who's doing a sort of marking job in midfield, might then make way for him.
Having seen Niall Quinn, the blood all over his face, do you think there's a chance of him doing a Rocky 2, having watched it last night?
Yes, he did very well, Rocky, didn't he? He'll need a Rocky situation, I think, to rescue this game for us.
Glenn Hoddle having a quiet match.
Well, I think all midfield area is so congested. You get the odd flurry from Glenn, but all midfield players are really at times hurried, giving balls over the top. There's offside played into it, and that's really why I think Arsenal, in particular, have to try and work the flanks. Kenny Sansom and Viv Anderson, 2 very good attacking fullbacks, haven't really had the opportunity to get in those situations, and I think that's perhaps something they're going to have to utilise, you know, in this remaining 45 minutes.
Spurs have been playing a bit tight. If you look here on the shot total, it's not as buoyant as the stock exchange at the moment, I'm afraid to say. Spurs 3 shots and Arsenal 6. So Arsenal have carried the game to them a little, although they're on their opponent's ground.
Well, there is that tendency when you're 1-0 from the first leg, although David Cleat, I'm sure, said to Spurs, come on, we've got to go out and win this game, to be that little bit cautious. Then you get a soft goal given to you, you're now 2-0 up, and you think to yourself, well, as long as we hold Arsenal from not scoring, obviously then they're going to get frustrated and perhaps the game will peter out.
I mentioned before that the season was beginning to tell on Arsenal a little bit. Can you see signs of that in their play today, just being on top?
Yes, and the recent results suggest that. I mean, if they do go out, then I think George Graham's got to decide, he's still in the FA Cup, league title, whether a signing, I mean, he's only spent £50,000, whether a signing will actually lift the side and the whole club. And I think possibly with the transfer deadline coming up, if they do go out today, that we might well see a signing.
No, it's not for us to make that signing for him, but I know there have been worries about the goalkeeping strength and situation, and of course today they were behind because of that mistake by John Lukic. It's worth a little look at that again.
Yes, I think here, you know, John Lukic comes out, has got plenty of time to take it. He tries to catch. People say, and Arsenal players were a bit disappointed that he weren't penalised Gary Mabler, who went into him. But really, I think goalkeepers sometimes get too much protection. Clive Allen makes the space superbly there. A lot of forwards would have snatched at that early, but he's taken in the situation completely, opened up the shooting chance, and then, of course, he's got 37 before today, and not surprisingly, the ball ends up in the back of the net.
So much about athleticism. Gary Mabbutt, of course, has tremendous elevation in the jump that does make it even more difficult for a keeper in those circumstances. Right, let's get back now to White Hart Lane. The players are on the field there, and we rejoin match commentator Barry Davis.
And just reflecting back on the conversation about Fulham, that's one of many banners around the ground from supporters of Spurs and Arsenal supporting the problems at Craven Cottage. And football supporters tend to make the headlines when they do things wrong. There is a feeling between them that is sometimes very good for the game. In this particular game, Clive Allen has scored the only goal so far, and by doing so has equalled the record of the League Cup and maintained his own record of scoring in every match that Tottenham have played. This is now the 8th. The record is 11, and he now shares it with Jerry Hitchens, formerly of Aston Villa, Tony Brown of West Bromwich Albion, and Jeff Hurst of West Ham United. Richard Gough with the first free kick of the second half. As Trevor Booking was saying, Arsenal in desperate need of an early goal in the second period. With Anderson. Klassen. Offside. Arsenal's record on this ground in recent years has been good. They've won 3 of their last 4 visits here, including the league match and the 100th league match indeed in January, which we covered. This afternoon they could do with the presence of Steve Williams, or indeed of the man that George Graham sold to West Ham United because the young man wanted to go, Stuart Robson. On by Danny Thomas. He settled into this right-back position after having problems getting himself as a regular member of the side. Thomas, denied by Thomas. And Thomas again, of the Mitchell variety. This is Chris Waddle. Huddle is in the middle, and Lukic claims well. Really a rare excursion into the final third of the field by Glenn Huddle. I wonder if it's indicative of Tottenham feeling that they can show rather more freedom of style. Flag is up for offside. Mitchell Thomas. In by Rocastle, Viv Anderson, denied by Ozzy Ardiles. And let's get this identification right. This is Chris Waddle. And that very nearly, and might still be Clive Allen. And it was Waddle who started it. Allen, on this occasion, did not finish it. And he was given a second chance because Adam stretched for it and set up the opportunity. And Clive Allen has scored 2 hat-tricks this season and really has had the opportunity here of a third. Waddle. Mabbott. David O'Leary. Quinn. Gets a second chance. He had a shooting chance there. Easy to see from up here, but in fact he went back into the crowd. Paul Davis, but even so Arsenal have picked up where they left off at the back end of the first half. And handball has been given, I think. Yes. And David Pleat now down on the bench. Three Arsenal players level with the near post as we look, the far post from the kicker. Quinn makes it 4, Nicholas in the middle. Won by Goff. Thomas with time. Acrobatically away by Gary Mabbott. Rocastle. Arsenal throw. In spite of the appeal by Mitchell Thomas. Quinn. Could be promising. And it's in. The applause for Viv Anderson. The ball being squeezed in on the near post. Got a deflection, I think, of Richard Goff. But that's of no matter. Arsenal have squared this second leg and brought this Littlewoods Cup semi-final back to life. Huddle and Clive Allen is offside. George Graham down on the bench, not reacting at all. But the Highbury support, which has travelled across North London, certainly is. Viv Anderson has changed the complexion of the afternoon. And I just wonder whether Tottenham will now revert to what is surely their more natural game and be less concerned. They're going to cause more problems to Arsenal if they go forward. They've scored 5 times in every home tie in this competition. Style this afternoon really conditioned by the fact that they had a goal to defend when they started. Easy for outsiders to make that sort of observation. We don't have to pick teams and justify results to balls of directors. But in terms of pure entertainment, it would be nice to see both sides come out and really go for it. Hassan. Play is suddenly spreading out a bit. Allen. Free kick to Arsenal. This is O'Leary. Taken by Davis. Paul Allen, Arsenal pushing up. Huddle, Waddle. Disappointing ball from Waddle. And Arsenal strung 5 men across the field then. And Tottenham players unable to go forward for fear of being offside. Nicholas, Davis, O'Leary, Mabbott covering, well picked up. Even if the decision to come for it was a little later than maybe Mabbott was expecting. Huddle's got it through. This is Clive Allen, definitely onside, chased by Adams. Still Clive Allen, good save. Tried to flick it with the outside of the right boot, having been put through by Huddle. And Lukic has regained his reputation. And it's a far better game all of a sudden. Nicholas, too much. Too precise. We've had 10 minutes of the second half. And certainly the match being played in a very different atmosphere now. Viv Anderson's header. And it was his 7th goal of the season, his first in this Littlewoods competition. Hoddle now starting to release people. This is Paul Allen. What was in from O'Leary. Arsenal throw has been given. And will eventually be taken. Rocastle. Mitchell Thomas. That really amounts to a waste of time. It's a beautiful ball that Hoddle made to put Allen in. Tries to flick with the outside of the right boot, and Lukic gets right. Back live and the ball at the other end. And the man who scored the Arsenal goal in possession, Viv Anderson. Davy Rocastle. And I think a genuine attempt to catch a goalkeeper in the hope that Ray Clements was looking for the cross. Spurs came through to this semi-final by beating Barnsley over 2 legs in round 2, 8-5. Put 5 past Birmingham here, 1 at Cambridge 3-1, and then put 5 past West Ham after drawing 1-1 at Upton Park. Arsenal's journey, not so many goals. Huddersfield 3-1, Manchester City at Highbury 3-1 in the one match. And they beat Charlton. And then Nottingham Forest. And they're back in it now in the semi-final. 1-1 in the second leg. Spurs lead 2-1 on aggregate. Hoddle. Michael Thomas with him. Good tackle by Anderson. Really making his presence felt. Good play by Hayes. Davis wants somebody left side, didn't have anybody, goes the other way for Quinn. Corner given. And dare I suggest that neither referee nor linesman was sure. Mark you, I joined them. Nicholas trying to lose a marker. Adams pulls away from the near post. Rocastle forced away by Thomas and Thomas. Nicholas, Rocastle. The heads are still waiting. And this is Charlie Nicholas. Arsenal prepared to leave 1 against 1. Abbott. Sansom, well watched. Ardiles. And we've had an hour of the contest. 1-1 the second leg. This is Mitchell Thomas. Corner tally is 4-3 in Tottenham's favour. Klassen and Allen are the nearest to goal. Mabbutt is up, so is Gobb. O'Leary. Charlie Nicholas, a lone figure.
Well, the game, of course, perfectly poised. Arsenal just getting the fillip they needed with that early Viv Anderson goal. And really, Spurs still letting them come onto them, trying to get them on the break. And probably Clive Allen, when he reflects on the game, will be disappointed that he didn't capitalise on the two chances he had, particularly the one when he was clean through. Probably left it a little bit late and then was too close to John Lukic when he tried to lift it over him.
Yes, that's the summary of Clive Allen's afternoon. One goal, then a pass too close and a shot too close. Adams, the back man this time. O'Leary. Playing by Mabbutt. And the long ball finds Allen unmarked. Well, the Arsenal defence was all over the place. He had the freedom of North London in the inside right position, but again, unable to take advantage. Mitchell Thomas. And the free kick for the push by Anderson. This came as a result of tripping over his own feet, but he pushed even so. This is Hoddle. This is Allen. Arsenal's decision to gamble is certainly adding to the entertainment. But if their manager is not showing any sign of nerves, I imagine that spectators are. Hearts pumping with hope 1 minute, in mouth the next. Won by O'Leary. Adams, Davis. Paul Allen. Offside surely, Nico Klassen. It's given. Hasn't really been able to get into the game for Tottenham, the Belgian. Adiles. Sweet turn, nice pass. They're open again. 4 attackers, 3 defenders. Waddle. Sanson. Paul Davis. David Rocastle. Oh! And Niall Quinn comes in on the far post. And Arsenal's bravery gets its reward. They've survived at the back, as their manager must know. Tottenham have had the opportunities to already book their tickets for Wembley, and suddenly it's all square on aggregate, and Niall Quinn is the scorer. David Fleet, shoes on, and Arsenal are really back in business. Chris Waddle gets attention. And the three fingers indicating what, I don't know, shown by George Graham, but it was a well-worked goal, switch from one to the other, the cross across the 6-yard box, no Tottenham defender able to get control, and Arsenal are back at 2-2 on aggregate. Waddle. And he must be breathing a lot better, and deserves to, John Lukic. Ardiles. Waddle. And Kenny Sanson having to recover. And as Tottenham come up to take the corner, let me tell you that there's nothing about away goals in this tournament at this stage. If it stays at this score, we go into extra time, and if it remains as a draw, there will be a replay on Wednesday, and the clubs have agreed to toss a coin to decide the venue. Waddle's corner. Goal kick. John Lukic, saved from Clive Allen close in with his foot, which was all part of the goalkeeper's armoury, particularly if you're a big fellow as he is, to deny Chris Waddle. And he's seen his side square things at the other end. And for me, this is a classic case of fortune favouring the brave. Allen, the flag stays down, which was a little surprising. Well, we're halfway through the second half. The score at White Hart Lane is precisely what Arsenal achieved in the league. The teams are tied together because Spurs won in the first leg at Harrogate. Classic. Here comes Thomas, Mitchell Thomas. Banged away by David O'Leary. It was 2 against 2 all of a sudden. And again, the complaint. We've seen it so often this afternoon. And among Jimmy Hill's plans to do good things about football, that is surely one that should be attended to for the image of the game. Goff underneath it. No danger. Thomas, yes, he was held by Glenn Hoddle. 6 Arsenal players in attacking positions. Davies forward, Adams tried to make it his. Comes down to Ardiles, to Hoddle. Always has the time to look up, but on that occasion not to take the ball with him. Nicholas. Sanson forward off him. 2 in the middle, 1 is Quinn. Quinn ends up on the seat of his pants, but the referee had a good view of the situation. Mitchell Thomas. Ardiles. Hoddle. Thomas coming up outside. He's released. Clive Allen again. Another great ball. Klassen waiting. O'Leary in the way. Hoddle. Klassen is far side. Mitchell Thomas. Hoddle. Ardiles. Got a fairly lucky ricochet, and that sets up Kenny Sanson. Nicholas. Sanson goes on. Nicholas Woody wanted too long.
Well, both sides obviously still going for the result. Arsenal having got level, you wonder whether they would decide to sit back on things and just take a breath, but they're pushing forward looking for the win, and certainly it was a great cross from David Rocastle, caught out the Spurs defence, who might well have been looking for the high one, but in fact he drove it in low, and of all people, Niall Quinn puts one in with his left foot.
Thomas. Danny for Tottenham. A pretty popular name in football, it seems to me, Thomas. I saw Spurs here against Newcastle. There were 4 on the pitch. And we've got 3 this afternoon. There's one of them, Mitchell Thomas. Referee played a good advantage. Charlie Nicholas. Mabbott just managing to prize the ball away from the dual threat of Rocastle and Michael Thomas. Hoddle. Rocastle. Paul Allen. Well, he just didn't know where to go. Ardiles. Offside given. This is, of course, when the pass is made. Chris Waddle. Paul Allen. Moves it out to another Paul Davis. Nicholas. There didn't look to be room. Tony Adams. Hayes. There's a fair amount of in spite of rather than because of. But it's a very enjoyable second half. And we're 15 minutes away from the need for extra time. 2-1 to Arsenal in the second leg. Spurs won the first. Ardiles. Credit to George Graham's team, bearing in mind that Spurs have had 6 consecutive wins, scoring 18 and conceding none. Anderson once more. Pity from his point of view. And here at White Hart Lane, in their last 7 games, Tottenham have had 7 victories and scored 23 times and conceded 2. I think this afternoon their attitude was not the one that's been applying during those games. And their emphasis has been playing to their strengths, which is certainly to go forward. Quinn head down and chasing. Allen goes to mark the goalkeeper. Adams. Hayes. Richard Gough. Delayed just too long with the through ball, but the linesman's flag stayed down again. Gough. And by Huddle, good cover by Adams. Ardiles caught and surely holding Michael Thomas, the referee playing the advantage. Beautifully won by Mitchell Thomas, but not used. On goes Michael Thomas. And Mitchell Thomas once again for Tottenham to deny the teenager. Chris Waddle from the centre forward position. Clive Allen is offside. These two met in the semi-final of 68-69. Arsenal scored 2 late goals. And each try, this is Charlie Nicholas for them. Gough managed to turn it away. What a quiet ending. Ardiles. Paul Allen. Everybody moves forward. Minutes of the normal 90 left. Hayes. Paul Davis. Kenny Sanson. Charlie Nicholas. It was an opportunity of the golden variety. Sanson with so much room on the left side, but look at the gap here. Paul Davis. Free kick given. For what, as they say, you tell me, but the referee knows, and that's what matters. Richard Goff has gone forward, Gary Mabbott as well. The ball a bit short. And there's a feeling of anxiety in the Tottenham supporters nearest to me. Waddle. Paul Allen. Great challenge by Tony Adams. Brought to an end a very promising run. Michael Thomas. Quinn, and offside against Rocastle. Spurs ball given. Gary Mabbott. Thomas. Klassen is over this way. That's a fine ball. Support from Mitchell Thomas. Allen down the middle. Huddle coming short. Klassen wanted to go alone. Paul Davis is the injured player. Bit of a wrestling match going on in the mud in the centre circle. The referee looks at Paul Davis. The play continues. And Arsenal, like the referee, not seeing it as that serious. And now the ball has gone out of play and Paul Davis will get attention.
Well, Paul Davis there having a well-deserved rest because he's been exceptional in the midfield area. And certainly Arsenal, I think, with the impetus of the 2 goals, looking the stronger side at the moment. Charlie Nicholas had a great little dribble 5 minutes ago, put the ball across and it was cleared. And then, of course, he probably had Arsenal's most clear-cut chance since the 2 goals, and that's when he put it over the crossbar with his left foot. But certainly, with just a few minutes to go, Spurs and Arsenal still not used their substitutes, and it might well be interesting to see what both managers do if it goes into the extra 30 minutes.
Well, this was how Davis was injured, making the challenge here. He got a knock from Klassen's left boot. But no substitution needed. And the referee obviously blew the whistle before the ball went out of play because he's given a drop ball here. So 5 minutes remain for the teams to decide who goes to Wembley without the requirement of extra time. Allen. Paul Allen has gone forward, number 8, the flag stays down. Paul Davis was looking for the offside, and so was Viv Anderson, and it's Paul Davis who comes away with the ball. David O'Leary. Now Quinn. is up this time against Charlie Nicholas. Well, he's had one fine shot from 30 yards. Charlie Nicholas, the man who scored once. Clive Allen is the player off the pitch. He's coming back to Nicholas this afternoon. He's had one fine shot, one off the crossbar, and one real opportunity missed. It's been a curious contest. Who would have said that Allen would have missed the chances that he's missed, and who would have said that Narquin will score not with head, for which he's so noted, but with left foot, as Trevor Booking commented. Adams getting it away when Lukic might well have claimed. Mitchell Thomas. We're 3.5 minutes away from the referee's whistle. Oh dear, that's just a forward prod by Gary Mabbott. If it goes into extra time, which is looking more and more likely, we will of course be staying with the match to cover the extra time. Mabbott, push by Marquardt, free kick. There was a smile on the face that time from Viv Anderson. Klassen. Ardiles. Good positioning and well found. Gary Mabbott. Waddle. Good challenge by Rocastle. Nicholas. Huddle. Not too much support in midfield. Curls it out to Klassen. Looking for the return from Allen. Paul Allen instead offside. Both managers on the edge of their seats. And it could well be that they're going to have to find the right words, because we're in the last minute of normal time. Here's David Rocastle for Arsenal. 4 in the box. And very nearly a free header for Martin Hayes, but he didn't take the advantage of it. Allen. Hoddle. Clive Allen. Mitchell Thomas. Many in the crowd whistling, but not Mr. Gunn on the pitch. Goal kick. final whistle will go any second. And we have extra time. 15 minutes each way. 2-1 it is to Arsenal in the second leg, but 2-2 on aggregate. Clive Allen having given Tottenham the lead in this second leg and given them their second goal on aggregate in the 15th minute. But Arsenal's come back in the second half. Viv Anderson after 51 minutes and Niall Quinn after 65. And now the test for Messrs Pleat and Graham to find the right words to lift their sides for the extra half an hour.
Well, George Graham there, I shouldn't think he has to do much talking because they must really be looking forward to this extra time. I think whatever happens in the final result, we must give great credit to how they came back. Well, 2-0 down, and I wouldn't think anyone apart from the true blue Arsenal supporters would have said that they would get back into this. And certainly, here we see Glenn Hoddle. He'll need to get those cars going in that last half an hour. But certainly, at the end of that full 90 minutes, I think it was Arsenal who were looking the more likely to score the goal. So it's a case now whether David Pleat decides perhaps to bring Nico Clausen off and put Tony Galvin on. And he's also got Gary Stevens perhaps to add that little bit of steel to midfield, which I think is the area, certainly in the last half an hour, where Arsenal began to dominate, particularly David Rocastle and Paul Davis. Looking at the goal attempts for the 90 minutes, Spurs have had 9 and Arsenal 11. And offside, Spurs have been caught 13 times and Arsenal 4. But certainly on the first game, always remember I felt offside was a chief factor in the game. But today, with Arsenal chasing the game, it's been much more entertaining. There's David Pleat, working overtime, trying to lift his lads. Chris Waddle there, hands on his hips, thinking to himself, I've just got to go past Kenny Sansom or Viv Anderson once and open up a chance.
I think it's not for the first time that scoring a goal in the first leg can create problems of the style of which you play, Trevor. I know what you feel about this, but Tottenham, having got the second one, seemed to me to be not prepared to go forward and totally wrap up the game. They've been much more sort of conscious of the position with which they started. But we can look at the way that this second leg has evolved. Tottenham taking an eternity. Lukic in trouble, Klassen miskicked, Allen did not. Quinn, could be promising, and it's in. Paul Davis. David Rocastle. Niall Quinn comes in on the far post, and Arsenal's bravery gets its reward. Well, that last comment would be my summary of the first 90 minutes. I do think, as Trevor Brooking said, they have done awfully well to come back in a match in which they seem to be dead. But I also feel that, to some extent, Tottenham have not played in the way best suited to them. Just looking around the two teams, no substitutions yet. So Arsenal will start the extra time. And there's David Rocastle, and news from Bob Wilson down on the touchline is that the ball that has lost at the contact lens. It doesn't make life too difficult, too easy for him in this second, this extra time. Kenny Sansom. There's Rocastle. Viv Anderson. His goal changed the whole atmosphere. Charlie Nicholas, the flag is down. That's a fine save. Really a very good save. It was curling away. Tony Adams prepared to make the run from the penalty spot. Now Quinn went up, so did Viv Anderson. Another corner. Derby Rocastle calling for the effort. He's the player position right in front of Ray Clements. Comes out again to Hayes. Quinn making his presence felt again. Hayes didn't make contact at all. Goff took the ball away from Danny Thomas. Hayes. Ottle. Weight of the pass, even though he was under pressure from Kenny Sansom. This is Nico Klassen. Covered well by David O'Leary. Mabbott. Danny Thomas. That's a gift for Kenny Sansom from Paul Allen. Hayes just inside, so is Nicholas. It's all a bit bunched. Goff. Nicholas. Chris Waddle. And wide to the right. Offside. Rocastle. Tripped by Chris Waddle. O'Leary. Flag up for offside. Against Viv Anderson on the far side, I think. And the substitution is at last made, and Tottenham the first to bring on new legs, and they belong to Tony Galvin, and he replaces the Belgian Nico Klassen. And he's missed the first 5 minutes of extra time. O'Leary had to make a lot of ground then. Ozzy Ardiles. And our apologies to those of you who have switched on, expecting to see the Muppets and Tom and Jerry. This Littlewoods Cup semi-final has gone into extra time. And we've had 5 minutes of the extra half an hour. And we will be staying with it to the end. The programmes that you're waiting to see will follow. Hoddle. Nicholas. Viv Anderson. Elastic legs again. But there was no real power on the shot. Mitchell Thomas. Paul Davis. It was a shot of a tired man, and so sadly was that. He was leaning backwards and never looked like being on target. Charlie Nicholas. This League Cup is a trophy that Tottenham have won twice, in 71 and 73. Arsenal have yet to win it. David Rocastle won it well in the challenge, fouled by Ozzy Ardiles. Arsenal went to Wembley in consecutive years, 68 and 69, but lost there first to Leeds and then to Swindon Town. Liverpool waiting to meet the winners. It's going to be Paul Davis this time, I think. Hughes and Nicholas. And it is Davis. And it got through the first bricks of the wall, as it did in the league match. And on that occasion it went all the way on. Not then. Kenny Sansom making the run, he's onside. Good cover by Glenn Hoddle. Now Quinn. Sansom. Ardiles. More up than on. Goal kick. Gary Stevens, the second Tottenham substitute, 2 allowed in the cup competitions. Four sides of the ground. There's one noisy end where the Arsenal supporters are. Everywhere else is a bit quiet at the moment. Hoddle. Galvin. Turned over the top by David O'Leary. For a moment, Galvin's looked like it'll be the decisive touch. He was well found. All credit John Lukic, who was out to him quickly. And David O'Leary covered the empty goal. Lukic coming for it. Takes well. Maverick, who came in behind him. Hoddle. We've had 10 of the first 15 minutes of extra time. Navett. Hoddle. Waddle. Hasn't really had too many runs, but he finds Danny Thomas well. And he gets the corner. Conceded by Tony Adams. Puts Tottenham ahead at 6-5 in the corners. Ardiles. Well found, Chris Waddle. There's 4 players in the area, but decided to go for the shot. Hayes. Nicely done by Michael Thomas. The corners are squared. Quinn on the near edge of the 6-yard box. Castle in the middle. And it was that man Anderson again. Well placed, the corner. Anderson is the player coming in. Straight to Thomas. Goff. That's a good ball from Waddle, but Allen is all alone until Galvin has made the run on the left side. Hayes. Just a foot in by Paul Allen. Mitchell Thomas. Good stirring run again, but he's gone too far. He needed the second bite from David O'Leary. Tony Galvin has gone across. Chris Waddle is going across to take the corner. Taken quickly. Ardiles. Waddle. Hoddle. It's a corner. Thomas. Needed to win it. Hayes. Well, Nicholas thought he was going to be the recipient. A good ball from Hoddle to Galvin. And a fine challenge. And Anderson does it again. And he's giving himself some breathing space. Into the last minute of the first period of extra time. Ardiles. Hoddle trying to get it back. Failed twice. Referee calling that evens. And there's no denying the industry. Hasn't been a classic game of football, but it's been a real cup tie. I must say, I find that offside decision very difficult to believe. But it comes right at the end of the first period of extra time. A period which was scoreless, and which still leaves the teams locked at 2-2 on aggregate. tuned in to watch other programmes, I'm sorry to tell you that this week you won't be able to see the Muppets because this football has gone into extra time, and for which this second period of extra time Arsenal will use Ian Allinson. Arsenal man replaced is Martin Hayes, and Gary Stevens, wearing 12 for Tottenham, has come on in place of Ardiles. I would think that has certainly hurt. It's Michael Thomas, the injured party. Gary Mabbott. Mitchell Thomas. Mabbott again. And the referee still allows play to continue. Chris Waddle for Tottenham. Tony Galvin. Clive Allen offside by a mile. And attention will come for the injured party.
Well, on the floor there is Michael Thomas, who was brought into the midfield really to mark Glenn Hoddle. He's done a very, very good job, and certainly if the longer the game's gone on, he's been more and more involved in trying to get forward as well. Certainly, what with just 12-13 minutes left now, both sides realise a mistake at this stage will cost them a visit to Wembley, so they'll be very conscious of that, although with both being involved in the league title as well, neither of them really will want to be involved in replays, because naturally that will help the Merseyside duo of Everton and Liverpool.
And the 19-year-old has recovered. Made his debut, incidentally, in the first leg of this semi-final. Spurs have used their two substitutes. Arsenal one. Nicholas. Allinson as far post. Good claim by Ray Clements. Chris Waddle. Danny Thomas. Stevens wants it. Goes instead for Glenn Hoddle. Adams. Quinn. Well, he was really crowded out, but he was fouled as well, says Mr. Gunn. Davis. Chris Waddle for Tottenham. Gary Stevens has gone forward, number 12. Pass between he and Allen. Quinn, well taken by Mabbott. Galvin. Mitchell Thomas. Spurs fans now making themselves heard. Well claimed. Allen arriving a little bit later than perhaps Garvin would have wished. That ball picked up, and it has been a testing contest. Goff. Waddle. It's much too far for Charlie Nicholas. Huddle. We're 10 minutes away from a replay. Galvin. Stevens. That's a disappointing cross. It's not easy to come on as a substitute so late in the day and find your touch. Thomas. Waddle. Allinson. Very elaborate check out. Nicholas. Allinson. Paul Allen. Waddle. He was trying to thread the ball through a lot of players, and he's given it away now. On to Rocastle, foot of Mabbott. Tony Galvin with Mitchell Thomas outside. Clive Allen down the middle. Gary Stevens square. And Arsenal getting men back, and Rocastle seems to be the fittest man on the field. Quinn, Davis. Good challenge, Mitchell Thomas. He might contest that observation about Rocastle. Chris Waddle. Danny Thomas on the overlap. And goalkeeper and centre half not quite together. And the ball goes away for Tottenham's 10th corner of the contest. Seven minutes left. Stevens. Tony Galvin. Away by Quinn. One by Anderson. Stevens. He's done well. Hoddle. Sansom. Quinn. Galvin. Ricochet is favouring Viv Anderson. Nicholas and Mitchell Thomas tied together. There was no foul. Stevens tackle. There are 5 minutes left. Still 2-2 on aggregate. Paul Davis for Arsenal. Allinson coming in. Oh, well claimed. Thomas. Hoddle. Quinn. Well, it's going to be a rather curious decision for George Graham to make should he win the toss. If it goes to that as to choice of venue, because his side have played better here than they did on their own ground, and their record here has been good. And incidentally, if you're an Arsenal season ticket holder and you haven't come today and you're watching this match, I should tell you that Ken Crowell, the secretary, says that tickets for a replay will be on sale on the whole of Monday and Tuesday morning, and not as printed in Saturday's programme, or the last programme. But one Tottenham fan still hoping that there won't need to be a replay. Julian Griggs, 26 years old, who's seriously ill at home. I hope that the thought of his team, Tottenham, going to Wembley will help him on his road to recovery. Lukic with the clearance. Thomas. Not comfortably. Bit of arm linking. David Rocastle, 3 minutes left. Paul Davis. Adams. Loses out to a determined Huddle. Chris Waddle. Allen is forward. Waddle is brought down by Adams. And the referee wants words with the Arsenal defender. The White Hart Lane chant. Can Spurs conjure something out of this? Galvin. Mitchell Thomas. Forced away by Quinn, but now has the room for the cross. Met by Paul Davis. David Rocastle. Just a question of chase that. And poor Charlie Nicholas once again sees the ball go flying over his head when he wanted it to feet and in around the centre circle. 2 minutes left. Chris Waddle once more for the home side. Thomas is forward, Hoddle is forward. And that was intended for Allen and was cut out by David O'Leary. Mitchell Thomas. We're into the last minute. Stevens can't get there. Indeed, he pushed Kenny Sansom. Members of the constabulary encircle the ground. if you can encircle a square. And the seconds tick away. 15 on our watches. How much is there on Alan Gunn's? Paul Davis. And the free kick is not given. A final whistle is blown, but Niall Quinn, who gets to his feet, knows that he played his part in the fact that this semi-final goes to a replay. The two teams will meet again on Wednesday evening at a venue to be decided, because Arsenal, in spite of coming here a goal down and then going a second goal down, were able to come back in a manner that we can now show you. And Tottenham taking an eternity. Lukic in trouble, Klassen miskicked, Allen did not. Quinn, could be promising, and it's in. Paul Davis. David Rocastle. Oh! And Niall Quinn comes in on the far post. And Arsenal's bravery gets its reward.
Well, it'll all be fought again next Wednesday. All that's left really for me to say is apologies to Tom and Jerry and Muppet fans. We've got Trevor and I have been sitting here in ecstasy all afternoon watching that match, and also wondering whether our prediction should once again be incorrect. But nevertheless, it was only just so, so I hope you enjoyed that 120 minutes exciting football, and you might be able to get a ticket for the replay. But from Barry, Trevor and me, very good afternoon to you.